Wyclef Jean, BKS1 Radio, let's go.
This is Essence Atkins, and this is BKS1 Radio.
Hi, this is Melba Moore, and you're listening to BKS1 Radio.
Yo, check it out. What's the deal? This the chef. Giving a big shout out to my peoples. Big KS, you already know what it is. Salute.
What's up? It's your girl Monifa, and I'm hanging with BKS1 Radio.
Hi, I'm Iyanla Van Zandt, and you're listening to BKS1 Radio.
BKS Radio, baby.
Hey, this is Jasmine Guy for BKS1 Radio.
What's going on? This is Lamont Brooker, and this is BKS1 Radio.
Shout out to BKS1, the best kept damn secret in the business.
Hey, what's up? This is Raven Goodwin from BET's Being Mary Jane, and shout out to BKS1.
Hi, this is Leon, and you're watching BKS1 Radio.
BKS1. God bless y'all.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to 2022. Welcome to the Out Show. Welcome to BKS1 Radio from home. It is your girl, Latoya Chanel, and I am here by the grace of God once again for another year, another week, another month, another show, another. But again, that's the blessing right there. Every time I said another, that was another blessing. So again, everybody, welcome. And how are you? We are back, and I say we metaphorically because tonight it is just me. As you all know, my partner had a grand ending to 2021. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to let her talk about it. But again, she had a grand ending to 2021. And so she's still in the midst of bliss and doing what she needs to do with her and her family. So you guys are just kind of stuck with me tonight. I'm not in the studio. I am currently still at home right now, as everybody knows, which we were literally just talking about right before the show, with every strain of COVID and flu and Norm, what'd you say? Fluvid and fluvid and co-flu and whatever else they got going on. And they got a new variant literally coming from France. As of today, I heard about from the CDC. So with all of that going on, I am home. I am not in the studio right now, but God willing, I will be back in the studio hopefully as soon as next week with a brand new show. But in the meantime, hold on. Am I here? Okay. But in the meantime, everyone, how are you? How is 2022 treating you so far? How is 2022 feeling for you so far? I want to know what it feels like, right? Because for some reason, all of us, as soon as the new year starts, we kind of get this innate feeling, like all of us become psychics. All of us become empaths. Everyone starts this whole feeling thing, this whole feeling vibe where, oh, I either feel like this is going to be my year, or I feel like this is it, or I'm definitely doing this year, or I'm definitely doing that this year. So I want to know, I want you guys to talk to me, and I want you all to talk to me in the chat. You know what? Let me get to the chat over here. So my computer over here, everybody. I'm going to go ahead over here into my comment section because I want you all to talk to me, and I want you all to tell me exactly how is 2022 feeling for you so far. I'm going to go ahead and obviously I'm going to start with myself, right? 2022 so far feels good. Now, by next week, which will be the 11th of January, I might have a completely different story, and I may turn around and be like, y'all, this sucks. This doesn't make any sense. This is the dumbest thing ever. Absolutely. But what I'm going to say, 4 days in, out of 365, it's feeling okay. You know, I don't feel like we're doing too bad, you know, these first 4 days in, right? So I will say that, and this is completely not to name drop, but it is so name dropping, everybody. Everybody knows I work in the entertainment industry, so I'm always around whomever. But I will say towards the end of 2021, I did have the privilege of being on a call with Auntie Extraordinaire herself, Miss Ayanna Van Zant. And she was talking about 2022 and what was to come and what it feels like and how it was the year of our people partnering together to achieve their goals, right? And even though I had this Zoom call with her towards the end of November, it really did give me a lot of hope for what's to come. Or maybe it just shaped how I felt, you know? When people talk and when you get messages from different places, is that divinity or is that someone helping to shape your thoughts? I don't know. Either way, it made me feel good, and it has cultivated how I feel right now. I feel like it's the year of us as a people getting together, partnering together in understanding to achieve whatever goals it may be that we have. So whether that's business, whether that's families, whether that's friendships coming back together, whatever it is the year of those partnering together to heal, to be healthy, to grow, to force those who are closest to you to level up. So I took that message from her. I actually recorded it, and one of these shows in the near future, I will give you all some snippets from Auntie Extraordinaire, Miss Ayanna Van Zant, and I want you to hear for yourselves what she said about 2022. But in the meantime, I want to know, what are some things that you learned? We're in a whole new year. And so I want to know, what are some things that you learned from 2021? What did 2021 teach you? Now, if you look on social media, you have, it's a common theme. It's a common theme. And, you know, my show partner, Miss Queen B, shout out to her. We actually talked about it. I'm going to say fourth quarter of last year. And my partner named it herself. She said, LaToya, 2021 is a karmic year. A karmic year. And what she meant by that is what you were putting out, some people were getting back. It was an exposing year. It was a year where whatever it is, it seemed like people were trying to hide. It was just coming out to the forefront. And it seemed like that happened all year long, right? I mean, is it me? Talk to me in the comments. Let me know. Was it me or did it seem like that was going on all year? All over social media, every single Instagram post, everything that was on TikTok, everything that was on Facebook or any other outlet that you were on, everybody was talking about how friendships were exposed, relationships were exposed. People learned a lot about just relational issues, no matter who it was, no matter what the level of the relationship was. People were learning a lot about the dynamics of those relationships. So I'm going to go ahead and I am going to side with social media, and I'm going to say the same thing. I feel the exact same way about 2021 and what it taught me. And even more so, because you have to take accountability, even more so what it taught you about yourself, what it taught me about myself. And sometimes, and I'm going to put, this is my, psychology therapist, philosophist, whatever you want to call it, hat that I'm putting on right now. Sometimes we learn a lot about other people when we individually are too giving. When we put too much of ourselves out there for others, there comes a time period where you learn exactly what you're dealing with based off of what you do or do not get back, what's reciprocated, right? So, like I said, I agree with every post that was on social media. I learned a lot about others. I learned a lot through relationships, and I learned a lot about myself in the long run. So what do you guys think? Go ahead, Let me know what you all think about 2021 and what lesson that you got from that. Because it's important. Because it will shape, and it's only been 4 days. I know. I fully recognize that it's only been 4 days, but it will shape your thoughts and how you go into another year. All of that new year, new me stuff, that's not true. That's not true. You carry the same you from year to year to year unless you decide to do something about you. So you'll have the same issues every year, the same resolutions every single year, talking about the same things over and over and over again every year, because you're carrying the same you throughout every year. The problem isn't the year, it's not a number. 9 times out of 10, it's us. Now granted, for the last 2 years, we have been a generation of people who are living through a pandemic. So, as I mentioned all throughout last year, yes, of course, there has been a lot of loss. There's been a lot of people lost, death in families. There's been a lot of job loss. There's been a lot of people losing their minds. There's been a lot that has happened between 2020 and 2021. But for those of us that are just dealing with not necessarily the loss of a loved one or loss of a career or anything like that, for those of us who are really just dealing with ourselves, nothing changes until we do. I mean, I hope that's not a harsh statement, but I hope that that's a very real statement, because that's one lesson that I've had to learn myself the hard way. Look, yes, the hard way. I've had to learn that myself. And unfortunately, I know a lot of others have had to learn it too. Nothing changes until we do. So new year, new me means nothing unless you have done the work to create a new you. And what does that work entail? I don't know. Whatever it is that you need to work on. So whatever steps is it, I don't need to be as angry, or I don't need to be as I need to be better with money. I need to be better in relationships. I need to work out more. I need to whatever it is. I need a new career. I need to be better dealing with sadness. I need to be better dealing with whatever that is. Whatever it is. There's steps, there's tips, there's tools. We walk around with phones in our hand, not realizing you literally have the world in the palm of your hand. Google it. Google how to be less angry. Start writing down, taking steps. Write the vision, make it plain. Start writing it down, taking steps on how to be less or more of what it is that you need to be, so that going into a new year, it really is a new you. I don't know. That's just some tips or whatever that I have. But you know, it's imperative that we're continuing to do the work. You know, what about people who every single year, and this one kills me. Y'all know this one kills me. We talk about it all the time on the show. And you know, and my show partner, if she was here, would say the same thing. What is with the every year you gotta cut somebody off? What's that about? Every year, you have a ton of people who are not going with you into the next year. Why? Why? Are we constantly just making bad choices in relationships so that every year in December, all of a sudden now, you figure out that these people are not for you, and now you have to do a full cutoff mechanism? Now, granted, I completely understand if it's 1 year out of however many that you have found out that your family is toxic. We'll come back into that family situation in a minute. But your family is toxic. Your friends are toxic. You were in a toxic relationship. You were in a toxic environment at work. And you know what? You have decided, I want to be a better person. in these environments and these people are not for me. So therefore, I'm going to move forward, cut all of this off because I'm trying to be a new person. I'm trying to be a new creature. I'm trying to do something different. So then you move on and you start cutting people off. And again, in those situations, you don't got to wait for a number to change to do that. But for those that do, I get it. Because there are times in life where that has to happen. There are times in life where that relationship or those relationships aren't fueling you, aren't helping you. Too many withdrawals and not enough deposits, right? And so you do have to cut some people off in life. And that's just a part of life, period. Everybody can't go with you to whatever your next levels are, no matter what those levels look like to other people, because every level isn't becoming a millionaire, right? But on the path to progress, everyone can't go with you and everyone can't be with you every step of the way. So there are times when you're going to have to cut those people off. And if you wait for a number to do it, fine. But every single year, have you seen some people where every single year they literally post the exact same thing about how they are cutting people off? At some point, it just becomes comical. And it's like, well, after you cut off the last batch last December, how many friends or new relationships or family members or that you got back in touch with or whatever did you get back with from January to November that now in December you have to cut everybody off again? Why? And then it goes back to my first point. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's your decision making. Maybe it's you constantly putting yourself in terrible relationships and making terrible decisions to the point where you have to cut people off every single year so that they don't go into the next year with you. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I'm just talking. But anyway, I will say you can't have a new you. Wait, how do you say it? New year, new me. You can't have a new year, new me unless you're actually doing the work to create the new you. And then maybe if some people actually start doing the work for this whole new year, new me thing, maybe they can stop cutting people off when the number changes. But, you know, who am I? In the meantime, I just want to talk about, so what are some things that happened over the last year that were pertinent to you, like some big major occurrences that you thought you would never see in life? I'm gonna tell you one that stood out to me. The very beginning of the year, and we are coming up on the anniversary of this, and that was January 6th with the insurrection of the Capitol building. I'm not laughing because it was a very serious matter. I know that there were people that lost their lives, officers that lost their lives. But I can recall sitting right here at this desk, watching CNN Live and seeing all of this happen live, thinking to myself, what in the world is going on? This is the Capitol building, and people are raiding and storming the Capitol building with costumes on, with shirts off, some with weapons, yelling, screaming, acting like animals and thugs. And something I literally thought that I would never ever see in my life was that. And I will say again, as I have said on that day last year on January 6th, if the masses of those people looked like me, had this complexion a little darker or a little lighter, would they be alive today? would they be in jail today? And I think we all know the answer to that. And it's no. It's absolutely no. But yeah, that's one thing that completely surprised me in 2021, something I thought I would never ever see. But to be honest with you, between 2020 and 2021, there's a lot that we thought we would never see, right? We're living in uncertain times. We're living in a pandemic. And while it has actually been good for some, because trust me, these years have not been all bad for all people. Some people have really found new careers, new love, created families, started businesses, purchased, real estate. So it really has not been bad for everybody, but for the bulk of us, for most of us, living in areas where you've had to shut down or losing jobs and of course losing loved ones, it has been a lot that we have seen in the last 2 years that has kind of taken us aback, right? So I started with the beginning of the year, January 6th, and how the insurrection was something that I thought that I would never see. And then I'm going to skip from January 6th, and I'm going to go all the way to a couple weeks ago. And I want you all to chime in with me here on this one. Because this is just the girl in me, so y'all going to have to forgive me for a minute. It's the girl in me. Why? Somebody just tell me why. Why is Megan Good and her husband, Devin Franklin, getting a divorce? I know. I went from the serious and the political right into that because at the beginning of the year, end of the year, politics, right to people's personal business that has absolutely nothing to do with me whatsoever. But was anybody else hurt by this? Because I was. And again, it's not me. It's not my relationship. It's not my marriage. And whatever these two people do has absolutely nothing to do with me whatsoever. But as a viewer, I can't even say as a member of his church or anything like that. But I'm going to say as a fan of Megan Good, as a fan of their marriage, their union when they got together, and just watching them go about doing things, that the famous video of them being at a church service and him defending her when one of the parishioners came up and said, well, you're a pastor's wife now, so you have to act different and dress different. And he checked her immediately and said, no, this is my wife. This is who she is. This is what she do. She don't got to change for nobody. And you don't need to tell her what to do. Watching that was just so nice to see a couple that close, or what we thought was that close, or maybe they were then. I don't know. But it was nice to see. It was nice to see that kind of interaction between couples and that kind of connection between couples. So following what we thought, believed, maybe was their love story, and of course everything isn't what it looks like on social media, right? But following what looked like was happiness between the two of them is now just so disheartening, right? It's so disheartening. Like when I saw it come across one of those news feeds, whatever social media outlet it was that I saw it on, it was so unbelievable to me. I was like, oh, this isn't true. This isn't true. What is everybody talking about? This isn't true at all. These people are not divorcing. Everybody always has so many rumors about couples and they should stop it. And then to find out that it was a bit heartbreaking for me. It was a bit heartbreaking for me because they were one of those couples I just had hope in. There wasn't any real scandal. You didn't hear about anybody doing anything. And I just had hope. And not only because he was a pastor, not only because he was a pastor, but just because they appeared to work well together. I don't know. Oh, Denise, Happy New Year. Yes. And she was saying too that she was surprised that they were divorcing. Right? Right, Denise? I was very, very surprised to hear that they were divorcing. And like I said, and I was hurt by it. So I know I was asking you guys things that you saw in 2021 that you thought you would never see. And I started out with the insurrection and then completely switched gears and got to Megan Good and Devon. Is that how you say his name? Franklin. But yeah, it was a bit disheartening for me. So tell me, guys, what are some of your things that you saw in 2021 or that happened in 2021 that you thought you would never see? And you don't gotta get personal. You can just, talk about things that happen that, we all know that happened. Another one for me, obviously, was the end of Insecure. A show that I have watched since its premiering night on HBO. Shout out to Issa Rae. Issa Rae, if you ever see this or anything like this, first of all, I would just love to interview you anyway. But if you ever see this or hear this, matter of fact, I think I'm gonna send it to you when I'm done. But anyway, kudos to you. Kudos to you for coming in and changing the game. Kudos to you for all that you have contributed to the culture. Kudos to you for every single thing that you have done in the industry, for paving your own way, for for being very real in your storytelling. So kudos to Issa Rae for Insecure. And if anybody has never seen the series, there is 5 seasons on HBO, and I'm not getting paid to say this, but it is a show that I actually personally enjoyed for the last 5 seasons, and to see it end was heartbreaking for me, because now my Sunday nights are just kind of, nothing going on really on the television front. But again, her storyline and how she wrote and what she wrote, and how it came across, even down to reading articles about just lighting. And anybody that works in the entertainment industry knows that anytime you're doing things with people of color, it's different from how they normally do it. Makeup is different. Lighting is different. Getting someone to do hair is different. And I mean, I'm sure everybody's seen that from Tyler Perry movies. You got to put some time into it, some effort and energy into it, because if you don't, you just want to come across looking crazy. But the way that Issa Rae went about putting this show together was absolutely amazing, and I am truly a fan, and I would watch all 5 seasons over and over and over again. So many lessons, so many things that I got from the show, gems and jewels that I got from the show, things that maybe I didn't realize within myself, or maybe was afraid to confront within myself that I did, while I was watching the show. So kudos to her. That was actually one of the things that I was sad about too. So you guys see, I'm jumping all over. I've gone from politics to other people's relationships, to television, to whatever it was. There were a lot of things that happened in 2021 that I never thought that I would see, or I was sad about, right? Sad about. Denise, what'd you say? Oh no. So Denise was saying she missed the series. Listen, Denise, find a way to get HBO. I think I have HBO Max app. So what I'll do is I will send you my password and everything just so that you can watch it, because the show is actually that good. The show is actually that good that I don't want you to miss it. And it seems like we're going back into shutdown mode anyway. So if you have nothing but time to watch television, then I really feel like it is something that you should do. What's another thing that happened in 2021? So the fight, the big all out fight over to vaccinate or to not vaccinate. That is going to go on forever. That is going to go on forever. I do not believe that that is an issue that is going to end anytime soon. And you know, it's not even I'm not even going to talk about from a national standpoint. I'm just going to talk about within our communities and in people of color. To vaccinate or to not vaccinate is a topic that you can't discuss. It's now like politics and religion. So you got politics, religion, vaccination. These are all topics that at some point in time, it's going to break up a family event. There is going to be an argument. People are not going to get along, and something bad is going to happen just from that discussion period, because people have vastly different viewpoints on how they see all of this, how they see this whole pandemic or plandemic, how they see, is COVID real? Is it fake? Is the government behind all of it, some of it, or not? Even if they feel like, you know, vaccinations are a great thing, however, vaccinations on people of color are not. Mistrust, distrust, all of that. There's so many different angles. There's so many different people. Hold on, I'm not sure why. There's so many different angles, and there's so many different ways that you can look at this particular topic, right? And it's like, at this point, it's not even something I discuss anymore. I don't discuss it. I don't discuss it. And I would advise my family members not to discuss it either. Are you vaccinated? Are you not? I don't know. If we are in a position where, for me, if it's something that has to do with my livelihood, then it's okay. Then I may have to have that discussion with other people. But in the meantime, if it's just, you know, we're at an event, which at this point, we're not even at events anymore, because things are shutting back down. At least they are in the Northeast. Some of my co-workers that are down in Florida in the South and Georgia are all like, oh girl, it's open up here, go open down here, just come down here and everything will be fine. But if it's up here and I absolutely have to have that discussion, that's one thing. But outside of that, trust me, I'm not having that conversation with anybody, because that's one that can definitely clear a room. Right or wrong. Wasn't he saying? Denise was saying, yes, COVID is out of control. All of this is completely out of control, everybody, completely out of control. So that was another thing that was in 2021. You had so many people in 2020 that were looking for a cure or looking for whatever the government was going to do to protect everybody. And then it seems like that's something that came along in 2021. But was it the right thing? Was it the wrong thing? Is it too soon? Is everybody that has a vaccination a guinea pig? Are you not a guinea pig? Like, what is it? I don't know. There can be lies in all of it, and there can be truth in all of it. And at the end of the day, I feel like none of us are going to know. And I feel like by the time we all figure it out, we'll be dead and gone. People are going to be studying this in textbooks in universities very, very soon. Very, very soon. I have a son that's in college now, and I honestly would not be surprised that by the time he's a senior in college, they have a course on COVID or a course on the pandemic, right? Because it affected everyone and everything. And more than I think a lot of us think about outside of the scope of our daily lives, right? So you got to think about people that are having babies during a pandemic, and babies who have never been around other people because for 2 years straight they were only around their parents, or never went to school, or school age children right now. How does this affect them? Teenagers, how does this affect them? Single people, married people, relationships, business, economics, like it affects everyone and everything. And it's going to have to be, they're eventually going to delve back into it from an educational perspective to learn all about it and the after effects of it, and how, not only how it affected the economy, but how it affected all of us psychologically. You know, did it do more damage than good? Did it do more good than damage? And maybe that depends on who you are. Maybe that depends on where you are. Maybe that depends on what happened to you during this time period. But either way, given all of that, there are going to be classes in universities. We're going to be talking about it. It's definitely going to be in textbooks, just like we learned about the Spanish flu in the 1920s. It's going to be in textbooks. It is going to be as a part of a history course and in economics and psychology and all of that, just like we hear about the Great Depression, just like we hear about everything else. We'll be learning about it. And if it was a government conspiracy or what it is, honestly, do I feel like any of us will still be alive to or around to even hear that? Probably not. Or too old to care. Too old to care because we lived through it, right? So, you know, I don't know. Hey everybody, let me see. I'm sorry. Let me go to my comments, everybody, over here on my screen. What did it say? Callie said, there are other things to come. COVID is just the beginning. Honestly, I hate to think like that, but at this point, nothing surprises me. And we're a generation living through a pandemic. So you can't say, oh, that would never happen or this would never happen. Yeah, because it's happening. Denise is saying it's universal with this pandemic. Oh yeah. It's affecting every single area of our lives. And it will be an educational course to figure out what happened, why it happened, what went on, you know. And like I said, and if it's a conspiracy, by the time we find out, we'll be too old to care, or we won't even be here to actually find out. So who knows, right? But what was my original question? What was my original question about the pandemic? Things that you learned in 2021, or things that you saw in 2021 that you thought that you would never see. So you guys are talking to me in the chat, and thank you so much for doing so. But let me know, what is something that you saw in 2021 that you thought you would never see? I want to know. I also want to know what lessons you got from 2021. And you know what? Just loop 2020 right on in there too. And why? Because I mean, I feel like they were just evil twins or just evil cousins that just came to get us back to back. So let me know. But as I started off this message saying, I do feel like 2022 is going to be different. It already feels different. These first 4 days already feel different. And by no means do I think that it's just going to be rainbows and butterflies for the next 361 days. But I do feel like there is a brighter horizon for some reason. I don't know if it's just maybe we'll all get used to this and find ways around it where we feel like we can live normally again, or maybe that is it. Maybe that is it. I don't know. maybe that is it. Maybe we'll just find new ways to deal with this and find new ways to cope. And, you know, we're resilient. We're all a resilient people. So maybe we'll just find new ways to cope with it. And in doing so, it'll feel more like normal, even if it's not. And to be honest with you, if that's the silver lining and that's all we get for 2022, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. But either way, I do feel like it's going to be different than the last 2 years. And that's not just me trying to pump or preach any positivity with this platform I'm on. Y'all hear that? All them P's, I'm rhyming and doing all kinds of stuff. That's not me trying to pump or preach positivity on my platform right now. That is honestly and truly how I feel about the new year coming. Let me read some more comments over here. Kelly said, I never thought I would see so many different companies going out of business. Yes. Unfortunately, the city that I work in, just even small business, big and small, you know, of course you have a lot of the big businesses that just could not make it through. But even the smaller businesses, which I really feel bad about, like the family owned businesses, the mom and pops that were not able to survive and they were not able to make it. I started off by saying the city that I work in, you know, we were home now, but when I started going back in the office just a couple days a week, you know, everybody was like, oh, well, what are we doing for lunch? Where are we going? Is this business open? No. Is that business open? Oh, you want to walk over here to get this? No, they're closed down. Well, what about over here? We would go there all the time for years at a time. No, they shut down too. They didn't make it. And I could be honest with you, it was a bit disheartening. It was a bit disheartening to just see that nothing was the same, even though we were coming back in office and it was like being home and seeing, you know, some of the people that were there on the days that you were there, seeing all of those people again and, you know, being back at your desk. And while I love this whole work from home thing, and this whole work from home thing is me, and I can sit here in this chair 24 hours a day doing this show, working, taking meetings, doing all of that, and I love it. I will admit it was nice a couple days a week because I'm not back to 5. It's a no. But I will admit that it was nice a couple days a week to be back in office and to have a sense of what felt like was normal for yesteryear. You know, it was nice. But yeah, there were a lot of businesses, big and small, that did not make it. And that's sad and that's unfortunate because you have a lot of families that work hard to maintain a lot of these businesses. Like I said before, especially the mom and pops. And, you know, this pandemic came along and just shut everybody down. So that was sad. I'm sorry. I'm just thinking this is me having a fat moment and thinking about all the meals I can't have anymore. All the meals I can't have anymore for lunch at work that I used to enjoy on a daily basis that I now cannot have because they're gone. And that's hurtful. And that was also a very selfish moment because it's a very serious issue. And you know, sorry. But in the meantime, yeah, there was a lot that happened in 2021 that we thought we would never see before. And a lot of lessons that we thought we would never get. And a lot of people that we thought we would never lose, whether it was a death of another person that's close to us or the death of relationships. There was a lot. And, you know, as Miss Queen Bee said, it was definitely a karmic year. And there was a lot that was happening. Denise just said, I miss the social interaction with coworkers. I did too, because we have fun in my office. I love what I do. I love my job and most of the people that I work with. And like I said, only a couple days a week though, Denise. Only a couple days a week. I don't need to see them 5 anymore. Just a couple. It's fine with me. But yes, I honestly did miss it, even though I met with most of them throughout the time period that we weren't there anymore, but still, just being in the office and interacting in the way that we used to for almost a decade was definitely missed. Definitely missed. So I want to know, again, because we don't really do resolutions here, because if you have not worked on yourself, then there's no reason to do a resolution, because you're just going to, go back and do the same thing you did before. And, and there's nothing that can motivate you to do that. And it's crazy because, again, not to name drop, but the Zoom call that I had with Miss Iyanla Van Zandt, Auntie Extraordinaire, she explained to the difference between motivating and inspiring. And she explained that motivation is fleeting. She said motivation really only lasts for about 6 weeks. So whatever it is you're motivated to do, it's not going to last too long. You're going to get about 6 weeks of thinking about it and trying to do it, and then it's over. But she said if you can inspire others, or if you're inspired by something else, then that becomes eternal and has longevity to it. So I'm hoping that for 2022, that all of you are inspired to do something different, inspired to make whatever changes that you need to make within yourself, so that you don't have to consistently have that new year, new me attitude, or the I gotta cut everybody off in December attitude, right? I hope you're inspired to do that, but not motivated to do that. Let me read some of the comments that I have here. Oh, Rodney. See, Rodney, I'm shouting you out now. Rodney is one of the co-workers I do look forward to seeing and did miss during this break. Rodney says, the blessing or the lesson that I got from this whole pandemic is that you have to understand to allow people to be right where they at. I would high five you if we were in the office. Life is short. Live it and cherish those you love and enjoy being with. Rodney, absolutely. Absolutely. Sometimes you have to leave people where they stand because they want to stay there. They don't want to move. Now, for those who want to move and don't know how, then maybe you are the inspiration for them. But there's a lot of people that know exactly where they are and have no intent on moving at all. And you know what? Those are the people where you have to say, yeah, well, maybe they're not going with me into that new number. Maybe I have to leave them right here, because this is going to continue to be a toxic relationship, or it's not feeding me or fueling me, or it's too many, what did I say? Too many deposits, too many withdrawals and not enough deposits. So you're right, Rodney. You were completely right. Kudos to you for saying that. I'm trying to get up to the comment that was right above that. And in doing so, oh wait, did I move? And in doing so, hold on. Oh, there we go. Oh, Andre. Hey, Andre. We miss you on the show. Hey, Andre. Oh, Andre was laughing at me saying most when I was saying I miss most of my coworkers. Yes, Andre. I know exactly what I said. I'm very intentional about the things that I say. And yes, I did miss most, not all. Okay. But yes. So anyway, I hope, as we're coming to the close of the show, because I literally have about 4 minutes left. I'm not sure if the show that comes on after me is coming on or not, but in my 4 minutes, I am going to repeat what I said just a few minutes ago. I hope that no matter what happened in 2021, no matter what lessons we got, no matter what you thought you would never see, and no matter what loss or gain that you have, I hope that in 2022 we are inspired to for some, if it's just keep living, keep thriving, I hope that we can find some ground to stand on to do that. For those, if it's keep growing, prospering, I hope you are inspired to do that. For those, if it's changes that need to be made because you're tired of your circumstances, situations, tired of yourself, tired of whatever, I hope that you are inspired to do so. And, it doesn't take a number changing to make that decision for you. But if the change of number was inspiration to you and not motivation for you, then I hope you do so. I hope you do so. I hope you can do the work. Y'all know I'm stealing that from Auntie. But I hope you can do the work. I hope you can have the healing. I hope you can get to the bottom of. I hope you can find the ground to stand on. And I hope that you have the longevity and persistence and whatever it is that you need to be your best self and the person that you need to be within 2022. So, that's how we always start these shows at the beginning of the year with, setting intention, being intentional about the things that we want out of 2022. Not 22, I'm sorry, out of whatever new year that we're in. And then of course we'll go on and we're going to have, the same shows with guests and great guests that are doing amazing and wonderful things in this year. So if you're inspired to do all of this stuff, give me a call so I can have you on the show so I can interview you as you're doing it. Let me know. I'm here. DM me, however, let me know so that you can be on the show. We'll have our celebrity guests who are going to be, whether they're in studio with us. That would be great to have people back in person, right? Or if they're just in the virtual studio with us, that's great too, as long as we can get a great interview with them. But we'll be here, God willing. God willing, that our show will be here every single Tuesday between 7 and 8. And right here on BKS1 Radio, that is still here, surviving pandemics, still giving you guys great content on a weekly basis. So, as I always say, I don't even have a new slogan for 2022 yet. Like I still got to come up with one. But as I've been saying for years and years at a time at this point now, right? I love you guys for watching, and I love you guys for listening. And God willing, I will be here, same time, same place, new show next week. So that's all I got for you all. I'll see you all soon. Bye, everybody. Take us away. Or take me.